In the description under each video there is a link to the LGBT dating Telegram channel. Subscribe and find your other half in life.
I looked at her confused. What are you talking about? Today is Saturday, or have you forgotten? Lauren Yaregui is waiting for you, baby, Dinah said with a wink. I got startled when I looked at the clock. With everything that happened, I had forgotten that today Lauren was going to see me at Imperium. Fuck. Oh my God, I'm Littell, I exclaimed, grabbing my purse and running out the door. I put on my last accessory to finally erase sweet Camilla. In the mirror, I could only see the sensual reflection of the woman that would bring Lauren to her feet tonight. I saw her sitting in the first row, just like the other times, and I couldn't help but smile. Today I was dressed like her, like a businesswoman, well, with less clothes of course, but it was in her honor. As soon as the light flashed on me, I saw her eyes burning into my skin. She was there for me, to court my body, and I couldn't help how that attracted me. That night I would dance only for her. Asterisk, play song. Oh, Lauren, why do you do this to me? I thought to myself as I started the sensual dance on that stage. In no given moment did her emerald eyes lose focus, they were on me, undressing me with desire. I felt hot, horny, with just the way that she looked at me. I walked in her direction, swaying my hips in the most sexual way I could. I could swear that her nails dug into her thighs, she was probably horny as well. I flashed a smile and then bit my lower lip, and I saw her smile and shake her head. I walked to the other side of the stage, where several men were screaming my name, courting me just as much as her. I decided to tease them tonight, so I sensually danced for the men in suits that were drinking and throwing hundreds of dollars on top of the stage. One of them got up, putting a $100 bill in my stockings. I looked at Lauren who, from the other side of the stage, stared at me angrily. That was arousing. Images of her possessing my body with anger made me horny, wet. I took off the first piece of clothing, throwing it to the table where the same men were, and they went crazy. Then I walked closer to her again. Her anger was noticeable, and her arousal too. I kept our eyes locked with one another as I took off the formal skirt that covered me, staying only in small lace lingerie. Her eyes moved down the length of my body as if she wanted to swallow me. Fuck. I continued my dance, being guided by the slow and manly voice that filled the environment, helping me seduce all those people, especially Yaregui. I did the pole dance choreography, and she still stared at me, sipping her drink from her small glass. I saw her slid her tongue over her lips that enjoyed tasting me so much. I wanted her again today, I wanted more, I wanted to feel her. Jesus, I was lost, but only she could make me forget my problems. I didn't understand the need I had to seduce her. I finished the pole dance choreography and walked towards her again, swaying my hips slowly for the woman who stared at me in such a hot way. I was panting because of the choreography's exertion. I walked closer and kneeled on the floor, getting even closer, and I tossed my hair to the side as my body moved in sync with the song that would come to an end at any instant. I gave her an intense look, indicating that I wanted to see her, and the corner of her mouth rose in a smirk. She understood the message. I got up sensually and walked to the back of the stage, finishing my performance that night. I quickly went to my dressing room, putting on a sexy robe on top of the lingerie that I was wearing that night. Then, I straightened the mask on my face and checked myself in the mirror one last time before going to meet that woman. As soon as I descended the stairs, I saw her leaning against the main bar with her inseparable glass of whiskey. She seemed distracted, until she laid her hot gaze on Me. I smiled at her, receiving the same gesture in return. I walked in her direction and flashed her a look, passing right by where she was. Lauren seemed to understand what I wanted, and she slowly moved away from the bar, following me. I walked away from the huddle of people, heading to the empty part of the club and stopping at the darkest part. I waited a few seconds until I felt her hands outline my waist. Did I take too long? Her voice came out raspy and sexy. No, you're just in time. Lauren tossed my hair over the right side of my neck, breathing in my perfume slowly, making her lips cautiously brush on my skin. You have an amazing scent, Carla, and such a soft skin. I tilted my neck to the side, giving her more freedom to proceed with her caresses. Lauren then slid her lips across my neck, reaching my ear, where she bit lightly. You were wonderful today, as usual. You're so good at what you do. Her voice came out dragged, making me feel the dampness in my sex. Am I? Did you like the way I danced for you, Yaregui? I rubbed my body against hers, which was only a few centimeters away from mine, and I felt her hands squeeze my waist harder. You teased me too much. What was that with those guys? She spoke firmly, turning me to face her. They are here to see me as well, just like you. She stared at me and then nodded. You know, Carla, I don't share anything that's mine, nor what I think is mine. You're included in that, but I like it when everyone desires what I have. I like it when they know that only Lauren Yaregui can have what they want. Her excess confidence and her arrogance drove me completely crazy. Lauren was now staring at me, like she was hungry with desire. I looked down at her hands that were now untying the knot of my small robe, and slightly panting, I ran my tongue over my dry lips. And then she leaned in and pressed her mouth against mine, making me feel her soft, firm lips on mine. I sighed, and her tongue entered my mouth, tasting me in long, delightful licks. She was confident and very skilled, putting the right amount of aggressiveness in her kiss to leave me completely aroused. I'm not yours, I challenged her. You are, you're mine, Carla, she said as she opened my robe, revealing my body covered only by the tiny lace lingerie. I opened my mouth to protest, but Lauren soon enough silenced me with a wet, lustful kiss. Her tongue moved slowly, making me wish she would do the same between my legs. My hands went straight to her hair, running through it and gripping it hard. She pulled me closer to her, making me arch my body, and with her skilled hands, she squeezed my breasts rhythmically from inside my bra. Lauren. SSSHHH. She sucked my lower lip while her fingers pinched my sensitive nipples. God, she was so bold. You don't know how much you drive me crazy dancing on that stage. I was afraid that someone might see us, but my body yearned for more of her touches. My chest rose and fell in an uneven breath. This is dangerous, I whispered. I know this is dangerous, but I need it, Carla. She said firmly, squeezing my ass hard, digging her nails into my skin. And I moaned. We can't, I tried to push her away. We can, and we should, she said in my ear, to then place hot kisses down the line of my neck, where her tongue slid. Eagerly, while one of her legs pressed between mine. I felt my body burning, my sex soaking wet. Damn it, she caused me such a colossal arousal. She continued kissing my neck. Eagerly, and my hands gripped her body against mine. I needed to feel more of her. Take off the mask. You know that I won't do that. What's the problem with me seeing your face? That's a secret I won't reveal, I said, getting out of her arms and walking over to the couch that was there in the corner. "So full of secrets," she said, walking slowly behind me. I sat down on the brown leather couch and turned to her. "Don't think that you've already conquered me, Yaregui. I'm much more difficult than you imagine." Lauren sat down beside me with a smirk, and I quickly straddled the woman that was staring at me in awe. She could hardly imagine that the woman straddling her was the same woman that was by her side all day long. "This is crazy," she said, leaning her head back. I opened 1, 2, 3 buttons of her blouse, and I quickly kissed her naked pale skin. "Why?" I asked. "I've never done this before." "What, getting involved with a stripper?" I kissed her collarbone, letting my tongue move up her neck, where I started sucking eagerly. Lauren squeezed my thighs harshly, making me moan. "Yes, you're my undoing, Carla." I pulled slightly away, running my hands through her silky hair and staring deep into her eyes. I could feel her hot breath against my mouth. "Ditto, Yaregui, you're my ruin." I removed the scarf from around her neck and blindfolded her eyes, just like the other night. Lauren smiled at me and touched my face again, as if she was trying to find out more. "You don't know how much I want to see you. Your face must be beautiful," she whispered as she touched my face. "Who knows, maybe you already saw it." "Impossible." I held her face, pulling her head towards me to then suck her soft lips, and Lauren didn't waste any time. She entered my mouth with her skillful tongue. Our tongues danced together in sync and in such a hot way that made me sigh. I felt her hands roam all over my body, squeezing in such a delightful and enticing way that I felt the urge to fully give myself to her. She continued until she reached the thin fabric of my panties, and I sighed. "You're so wet." Her voice came out raspy, dragged, as her fingers glided over the damp fabric of my panties. "It's your fault." "Mine, only mine," she whispered as her fingers moved over my clit, still above the lace. I started to move my hips against her as her fingers played with me. I shouldn't be doing this, I thought as she kept caressing me. Lauren was biting my lower lip with a naughty expression on her face, and I would love to see her eyes, the warm color present in them, but the thin scarf covered them. I closed my eyes and leaned my head against hers, our foreheads touching. I could feel her uneven breath. "I hate you," I whispered amid a moan. "Yeah, I know," she said with a smirk, pulling my head for a hot kiss. Skillfully, the woman pushed aside the thin fabric on my lingerie, sliding her fingers through my folds until stopping over my clit. I swear to God that my urge in that instant was to moan loudly, but I wouldn't show her how much I was surrendered to her. Lauren was firm. She kissed my mouth as her index and middle finger rubbed my bundle of nerves. I closed my eyes and grabbed her hair roughly, and she picked up the pace of her fingers, causing a heat wave to go through my whole body, concentrating on that spot where her fingers were doing an amazing job. I moaned. I wanted more. I wanted her to continue. I wanted her to make me hers right there. I wouldn't mind, I only needed her body. Her kisses, her fingers inside of me. But it was too soon. I needed to hold on to the last thread of sanity that I had left. But that was a practically impossible task when I had that woman masturbating me with such desire. Keep going. I moaned and thought. "Stop, I have to go." That was what I said instead. "What? Why?" she asked, breathing heavily. "It's not the right time for this. Or did you think you'd have me so quickly?" "You want this just as much as I do, Carla," she said, sure of herself. Your body, your reactions. When I tell you that I want it, you'll have me. Until then, forget it. I got up from Lauren's lap, putting the mask back on my face. She immediately lowered her blindfold and stared at me with a childlike smile. You're kidding, right? She asked, pulling me by the waist. She was still sitting on the couch, her blouse practically open, showing the delicate and extremely sexy bra she was wearing. Her pale skin covered with red marks due to my bites. I needed to be strong, or I would end up sitting on her lap again and would only leave after a good mind-blowing orgasm. Focus, Camilla, I exclaimed in thought, trying not to look at Lauren, who was now placing small wet kisses all over my belly. I moved my hands to her face and tilted it up, realizing immediately that that was not a good idea. Looking into Lauren's eyes was my undoing, but I took a deep breath, remaining firm. I'm not kidding. I'm the boss here, Yaregui. This is my empire. I stole one last kiss from her before walking away from there.
Support the channel with a reaction and write a comment under the video. Thank you very much for staying with me on the channel and subscribing.